Hello everyone, Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino, checking in on Bitcoin. Bitcoin stair-stepping higher, making slightly higher highs and higher lows so far. Topping out on the 7690 projection, and that was from the low back on the 28th to the high on the 29th with the 12.5 and 25% extension levels. And you see here poking above it multiple times, now pulling back. Now we can go to the next level. Since we're clearly in the rotation zone on the daily chart. So we're going to be watching for key support coming in first level around 75.80. And then if we fall through there, you can see the 21 rising, the 50 rising. So that's about 526 to 540. And this prior other support area. So that's the next level of key support. So that's what we're going to be watching for and see if it can rotate back up strongly from there. Looking at the daily chart. The daily chart, as I mentioned, you can see we're in the rotation zone right now. Now we have a cluster coming in about 77.61 to 77.81. That's going to be next levels to really watch for. And then the declining 21 right now, what is that? It's about 78.42, and then our next level is 78.63. So anywhere 78.42 to 78.63 is going to be major resistance. If you haven't taken any profits off or you've bought any here, I'd at least move up your stops at these key levels, because we could get another minor reversal and pull back down to some other key levels. Let's switch back to that 4-hour chart. So if we do break below this little 75.27 area, then I'd be watching to make a slightly higher high than this last one, probably coming in about 7,400. That would be my next level down we'd be watching for, to see if we can get a nice sort of turn up like this. Even though we dropped nicely there, this was a nice rebound candle, pause, and you can always wait, and then when we do get a nice break above this rebound candle, that can be a good entry signal. This was a nice 2-bar drop, and we got a rebound candle and a pause, and then we got the ignition candle. So those are things you can watch for on the next pullback to trigger, hey, we're rotating back up for a potential entry. Check in on Bitcoin Cash. We had the 1050 level, which we came up, spiked to just below it, came back to the rotation zone, and then came up, hitting our next cluster area, 1068 to 1070, and then spiking through. You'd have to go to a shorter term chart to project the next levels. What I have up here now are just the next key levels after this pullback. So on this pullback, we're going to be watching for key support coming in about 1045 to 1050. You can see that was a huge resistance zone here, and we got the rising 8 and this resistance coming potential support. If it falls through there, I'm going to be watching for this area of resistance becoming support, which is coming in with the rising 50 and rising 21, which is about 1020. Then if we were to break below there, I'd be looking back around the just around number of 1,000 and buyers stepping in there, and then a rotation. And the same principle applies that we just talked about with the rotation setups for resuming the move that we mentioned in Bitcoin. Let's check in on the daily chart to see how all these levels fall. So zoom in so we can see them. This spiking up to just below the 21. So this next move, there's going to be some pretty significant resistance in here. So at least move up stops when we retest this area. And then we're looking at 1132, which is also where these dip buyers came in before, so there may be some selling there, so watch there. At least that's another great place to move up your stops. Then 1161 is coming in with the declining 50, so that's another great place to either take some partial profits, and that's also in that dip zone before. Would not ignore these next two levels higher to at least take something off the table, or move up trailing stop on it. Finally, looking at Ethereum, we had a cluster come in at 597 and 598. You see we hit right there, pulled back. This actually hit the rotation zone on the 1 hour, spiking through it, but closing pretty much on that 600 level, and now pulling back again. The next major level above that is 608. On a pullback, the first level support I'm going to be watching for is about 587, and then major support coming in right around 580. And if that were to break below that, I'd be looking at about 570, lining up with this prior resistance and support area there for another rotation back up. Let's check the daily chart in Ethereum. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to this 4-hour chart and just update these next levels since we've already hit that 12 and a half and we're pausing here. This is a good place to update the levels for everybody. So 614 and 628. Let's see where those fall on the daily chart. That's pretty interesting right there. 614 falling in at the top of the rotation zone, so that's going to be a very key level, and 628 coming in with the declining 50. So both these levels are going to be very significant. I would not ignore 615 or about 628.50 to move up stops or take partial profits and then wait for a pullback to add back on. That's what we have for you on Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum. Hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.